Hello, this is the Blind Apex podcast. And then boom, straight to the top, baby.
Green flag.
Welcome to the Blind Apex podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
It started doing a countdown before, but now it's not. So, okay, sure. This episode is brought to you by Deechworks Fuel Systems. Use Apex 10 at deechworks.com to get 10% off fueling your passion. On this episode, we're going to talk about a distant foreign domestic market and the sporty cars that come from this market. Well, sporty, I'm air quoting here. We aren't going to talk Euro trash or our weekly JDM stuff. We're going to talk about the cars of Korea. My memory serves me well, and I don't think I'm old enough yet to really worry about it. Joining me, world famous podcast guest you can find on podcasts such as Race FF Pod with our friend Jaime, and on the now defunct 91 Octane podcast. Please harass them so they start their podcast back up. Eli of E Villa Motorsports. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Oh, dude, it's an absolute honor. Thank you so much. I finally reached the trifecta. I had to be on Jaime's podcast, had to be on John's podcast, and I had to be on the Blind Apex. So I am super excited to be in this. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, anytime. I didn't realize that I was part of the trifecta for anybody, but okay. That's...
I'll tell you right now, it's like people, if someone were to say, hey, you got your chance, either go to Blind Apex or go to Joe Rogan, I was like, Blind Apex. I'm not even going to try. I don't care about Joe Rogan. I want Blind Apex. This is so much better.
You're going to get struck by lightning, but I mean, we probably are your people. Like it's motorsports here, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love the episodes, the quality. It's just exceptional.
Well, I appreciate it. So I've heard your podcasts. I mean, I've been listening. I listened to John's podcast for a while, and I listen to Jaime's every week because, well, when he puts it out, Jaime, stop being a slacker. Some weeks you need to put out episodes no matter what. I mean, literally, because I'm East Coast, I'll send him a message at 5 a.m. our time, which is like what, 2, 3 a.m. over there. And I'm like, hey man, you didn't put an episode out. What's wrong with you? So my Monday commutes aren't the same.
You know, I love listening to you guys because I commute quite a bit. I work from home, but I have to deliver parts that I build to powder coating, or I have to pick up steel for braces or roll cages or other stuff, or just general pickup parts for projects. And I'm like, all right, I'm tired of music. I love 80s, but I need to give it a rest. And I'm like, I need something with like meat, something to enjoy. And I always put on the podcasts. I'll listen to Blind Apex. I'll listen to HP Academy. I love that New Zealand voice. It's so soothing.
Oh yeah, they were guests on this podcast. So
I know. That's why I'm like, that's why I love Blind Apex. That's what I'm telling you. This was the one I needed, the only one to complete the trifecta. Now I feel like a champ. I can retire.
No, I have some more we're going to put you on eventually, and maybe some people we can hook you up with because, we have some friends that are actually drive Hondas. So,
well, he doesn't. Now I'm excited.
He doesn't have one anymore. It got totaled, but he's my my aerodynamic guru. So
I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
no.
You know Mario?
Oh no, that's not him.
Okay,
but I knew another guy that follows very, very similar trajectory.
Yeah, so I'll put you in touch with Mario. He's also a former guest, and he is my babysitter in the wind tunnel. So
awesome.
He might have some thoughts, at least for the Velosters. So,
hey, I'll have you know, I do have an update for you as far as the Veloster, because I know you don't feel too good about hatchbacks being fast, apparently, from what I've heard and stuff like that. You had Grid Life GLGT. We took second place this Sunday.
GLGT in the
In the
Veloster.
Veloster. Veloster N.
Did the skies open up?
You know what? It was awesome teamwork. And we did get a blessing by fortune, because at the beginning of the week there was a little bit of an oopsies where a Corvette, of course, touched our rear bumper. It's just, I can't have this KTM car right in front of me. I can't lose to this guy. So he's like, I'll just give him a nudge. So both of them went off track, and then we had only a rear, I think it was a rear bent control arm or tow arm, and unfortunately, with the Veloster platforms, the N series stuff, the high performance stuff, it's hard to get parts off the shelf. But Josh at KTM Tuners figured it out, found the dimensions, and went to Tractor Supply, and we basically made shift a rear tow arm.
Nice.
That was just brilliant. And after that, we took second place. It was great.
Awesome.
Hard event. Attrition rate was massive. I'll have you know.
I bet. Was who else was racing though? So you had who else was out there? I don't think James was out there. Houghton wasn't racing, I don't think.
So in the Hyundai wise, there was just us and GLGT with the Hyundai Veloster, and then us again with the Hyundai Elantra N driven by Will Dries.
Okay. Awesome. So, okay. I remember once upon a time when I was a wee lad that a Kia or a Hyundai, they were throwaway cars. So I'm going to go out of order. When did they decide to start making performance cars? And when did people start going, you know what? They're reliable enough to actually take to the track?
Great question. So I think Hyundai's tried in their history, in the 90s, they tried doing some off-road stuff, some rally stuff with some of the earlier models. They weren't really involved in motorsports. They were still kind of like the joke of a brand, unfortunately, for what it was. And then Hyundai started getting more serious in motorsport with their Genesis Coupe, which had a 2.0 liter turbo engine, 4-cylinder, and they had a V6 variant. And it's still there's a couple of people still tracking them, and then there's I think it was a US in SoCal wise, there's USTCC, and they have two Genesis, I'd like to say. One is the V6, the other one's a 4-banger, ripping and doing really good. And so I think with the Genesis, that's when it started. And then they introduced other little semi kind of like tunerish cars, which was the Veloster, which had the turbocharged engine. There was the Kia Optima as well, which is basically a sister brand of Hyundai, or redhead stepchild in a sense. And then Kia went forth into motorsports with Connected Motorsports. And then that's when the rise of kind of like B-Spec arose, and then they threw in the Kia Rio, and that's how I got involved. And Hyundai kind of stayed a little bit quiet. They were doing other stuff with the Genesis, and they were doing stuff with the Velocers in terms of Pike Peak with Reese Millen. And that's roughly around the 2012 to 2013 range when things were starting to get more motorsports related across both brands. And then Kia, a couple years later, pulled back, and Hyundai went full throttle after that.
Okay. So I'm old. So I remember their attempts.
You're great. What are you talking? You're still young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what my wife tells me, but it's not true. I actually had to go get fitted for glasses today. So I know I'm old now.
I see. You know what? I worked at a high school, and I saw kids getting fitted for glasses. So glasses is age. I'm just saying.
Not when he's like, your eyes are fine, but you need readers. So you don't need readers when they're that young. But anyway, I think Hyundai tried with the Tiburon. They tried to make something sporty with the Tiburon. And I don't think they made it reliable enough back then. Maybe I'm wrong. I was still like a Honda kid. So what am I,
So the Tyrone was, in a sense, that was kind of like the predecessor to the Genesis.
Mhm.
I think that was their first attempt on it, and I recall it. A lot of people still have it like it for what it is, but you're not wrong. It was a failed attempt. It was like, we'll see what people say, but at the same time, I'm like, I think it worked out for them because they got to like dip their hands in it and just kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. I was like, all right, what if we take a little bit more and go a little bit more? And then that's when the Genesis came, and they're like, it got a better response. And then because at the time, and still so, it's underrated. It's an underrated car because the 2-liter is pretty good, and the V6 isn't bad, and it's one of the cheapest rear-wheel drive cars you can get right now. Without having to basically buy a BMW and spend like $2-3 just welding plates to make sure it doesn't fall apart on the bottom. Don't ask me.
I mean that's what you cheated on your Kias and your Hondas with a BMW.
Oh, there's a story for that.
Oh, I want to hear it because John had to have been involved. He converts everybody.
Oh, mine wasn't even that. Mine was more or less the racing. It was the Specky 46 what got me into it.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, I hate German cars. As much as I've worked on them, I hate them because they're just over complicated. They made things way too complicated. But I can't deny that it's an exceptional product on track.
It is. And what you're getting, I have an episode on Spec 46.
Oh, I know. I listened to it. I loved it.
What you're getting speed-wise for the price is actually really good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is even the Spec 3s, the E36s, the Spec 46, you have to be judicious in which one you pull because there still could be like clapped out hood rack cars,
Oh, more likely than not now.
Yeah.
Because the demand for them, since with the whole JDM rise in the drifting scene, everyone's bought 240s, 350Zs, everything else to the point that it just raised the price on all of them. Miatas, I mean, $10,000 for a Miata, $8,000 for a Miata is wild. So the next predecessor to that, as far as like performance, rear-wheel drive, looks, style, was BMW. And before the rise, you can get a 330, a 3 Series for about $2,000. $2,000 was $2,500 running. Yeah, it still needed work, but it was cheaper than a $14,000 240Z.
Right. So what's the Genesis going for though? I think I slept on the Genesis this whole time.
The Genesis right now, from what I've seen, because Facebook Marketplace, right? That's the motorsports guy and enthusiast morning paper of the day. I've seen them from 2 to 3 still.
Okay.
In varying condition.
Yeah, obviously.
Sometimes 4. Okay. But I mean, for $4,000, a Genesis with a V6, rear-wheel drive and a manual.
Okay. So you might convert me because I still haven't given up on my J Series RX-8, but we'll see.
Ooh, an RX-8. You a Wankel guy, huh? You like the pain.
No, I'm going to put a Honda J Series in it.
Smart man.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, yeah, all right. This is how we devolve. I mean, it's podcasting, right? You're supposed to be a little flexible, but let me go back to the beginning. When did young Eli decide motorsports was his game? Like, when did that happen for you? And what drove you to the Korean cars?
Great question. So, I've always been enthralled and loved motorsports and racing and all that fun stuff. I just never knew anyone that can tell me where to go to get into it. whether it be joining SCCA or NASA. And I never heard of those organizations. I just hung out with friends. I worked on cars for years. I was in a little bit into drag racing because I met when I was in trade school. I bought the worst project car I could ever get. I bought a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, and I got it for $300 with an engine and transmission, and I still got ripped off. Engine was shot and transmission was shot, was just cobbled together. But it's funny because that basically started my motorsports arc, where I met an elderly man who became my mentor and guided me through all this stuff, and then helped me build engines, taught me all the ways. And he was like the older guy that was in the crowd before performance mods were being developed, as far as like full bench flowing heads and volumetric efficiency and all this stuff. So he knew all this stuff, and he was in the crowd that knew all this stuff. There were specialist engineers and everything else. So I kind of like hit it off with him. I helped him out with his house, with his job, and then he helped me put my engine together, taught me a whole bunch of mechanics and ways and workarounds. And like, he was a master of his trade, and which was Volkswagen. He knew the part numbers of all the engine parts from his head, which were like the equivalent of a driver's license part long, like number. It was like 10, 12, 16 digits. It was wild, and he knew them right off the head. And anyway, so got involved with him. That slowly got the ball rolling, built a few cars, and then afterwards I split on. I got a Subaru STI, because I've always liked the Subarus, and it was very similar to a Volkswagen, which was basically a flat four. So that was naturally gravitated to that route. I was having fun in the canyons, and I was realizing that I was starting to get a little too aggressive, and I was like, I should probably get a roll bar on this thing. And then I met Jim Pierce, because I looked on Google, hey, who can do a custom roll bar, all this sort of stuff. And then he showed up, and I paid him a visit and talked to him. He's like, hey, listen, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to build, and this is what I'm doing right now. And he's like, why don't you go to a track day? Like, your car is done. So I'm like, what's that? You can go to a racetrack? That's possible? He's like, yeah. I'm like, here, I'll bring yours. So there was a private test day, and he invited me over, and I went, and then that's when it was all over for me, because as soon as they touched that track, I found there was a way, and then committed fully into track life after that. As soon as I knew there were ways to access it myself. And then I got involved with NASA, did their HPD program. I still had the Subaru, and I did like 2 or 3 events. But I realized real fast that the car was too helpful, is the best way I can describe it. Like, I was at Willow Springs, and I'm driving, and I can turn the car, and it's like, oh, you overcooked it a little bit, Eli. No worries. I'll get that handling taken care of for you. And it's like, oh, you overshot that turn. But you know what? With all-wheel drive, you're okay, Eli. I got you. And so it didn't matter where necessarily, and this was HPD 1, so I wasn't going too fast. But the car was basically taking care of me. All the nannies were taking care of me, to the point I'm like, okay, this is great, but I'm starting to understand that I'm not as fast as I could be, as I see some other cars passing me by, which were in the same level as I was. And I talked to Jim Pierce. I'm like, hey, listen, I want to get faster. How do I get good at this? Like, how do I develop faster? What's the shortest way to get the most skill, like regardless of pain? And he's like, get a front wheel drive car with no horsepower and go on track and just do seat time. And I'm like, okay, why? Well, if you mess up, the car will definitely punish you for it by basically making you a moving cone. And so you can't afford to basically mess up. You have to be better and better and better. And I'm like, okay. And so, as you and I and everyone probably listening understands, that track life is not cheap, whether it be HPD or racing. It's cheap. And so I was like, all right, well, what can I do? And during that meantime, I was getting to know Jim Pierce, and I started working for him. And he was specializing in the Hyundai brand, the Veloster, and building braces and stuff like that. And I was just watching. I'm like, I wonder if I can do that. I'm like, okay, let's say I do that, but I got to find a car that has no support, and then a car that will help me make some money. And that's during that time, that's when B-Spec came out for SCCA, which included the Mini, included the Fiat 500, included Ford Fiesta, Chevy Sonic. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking at each one of those cars, and I'm like, all right, which one has aftermarket support? Which one doesn't? And I'm like, okay, this one has a whole Mini. The Mini had like, obviously a ton of support. The Fiat 500 surprisingly had a ton of support, including their own Ferrari package for whatever reason. And
They really love them in Europe.
yeah, that the support that I saw in that thing was ridiculous. I'm like, I've never seen that much support for that little car. It was on par with Honda Fit level of like enthusiastic support.
Yeah, I don't think there's that much for the Fit either, but okay.
Oh, well, they may have, I guess they win with the Ferrari package then. I've seen a few things for the Fit, but maybe I'm overestimating. I guess to me, anything that's over 10 parts to me is a massive amount of support, considering the Kia didn't have any.
Right. So you chose the Rio out of that whole grouping of cars to run,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I chose the Rio because it had no support. I was like, well, that guarantees me that I can sell at least a few parts enough to cover my registration, which was like $300 or $350. That was the goal.
Yeah, that's not the way I would normally recommend it for people, but in your instance, like, no, but it makes sense, right? Because you were looking and you wanted to do this thing and you have this entrepreneurial spirit, right? You had that drive. And so you kind of made both of them work together, which is different. I don't really recommend it for everybody, but
I don't recommend it for everyone either. It was not fun. It's still not fun. But I love it. You learn to love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have a problem, you get to solve it, right? Like,
yeah, that's the worst part. Other than that, once you solve the problem, you feel great.
Yeah, but you better be good at the problem solving. So, okay. So do you still have said Rio? And this the same Rio that John drove?
John was in it. He bought one. He has his other one. I had a 2014. He had a 2013. It was a red one. I think he got in my car at one point because I wanted to take him on it. I wanted him to drive it too, just to get him to have a good time.
Right. Yeah. Let everybody have a hit of the Go Fast crack pipe, even if it's a Kia Rio.
Oh, the car was so fun for what it was and is. I still have it. It's in California. It's with KTM Tuners. They're storing for it because me and Josh and a couple other friends are planning on doing like enduros with it because the cars, for what it is, it may not have horsepower, but it's so, because it has little horsepower, nothing breaks on it. So the thing was just a beast of endurance, which is shocking.
So you're going to do like lemons and stuff.
Yeah, like lemons. I've done enduros with it before. When I was in NASA, I Ironmanned a 3-hour enduro in 106 degrees at Buttonwillow Raceway without a cool suit, and the car lasted the whole time.
Okay.
So, and as far as like even before I made it in a full race car, I was taking it to the track back. It had less than 500 miles. It was already at AAA Speedway when I got the car.
So what did you have to make for the Rio? And how did that get Eli Villa Motorsports going?
So the part I started off was a strut bar.
Okay.
And it was just a simple flange, 2 points, and then just welded across just for a little bit better handling. It looked good, get some pop. Like it was a fun little thing. To me, it was the easiest thing to do at the start, and just to start throwing product out. And afterwards, I did an underbody 2-point brace that reinforced basically the subframe and the lower control arms from basically hitting a bump too hard or like alignment changes and stuff like that as you're carving corners and stuff. And that was okay. I also made a underbody brace, which was a 4-point or a 6-point, which tied the subframe to the body a little bit better, which helped because it prevented the subframe from shifting during hard driving and stuff like that. So the car felt more planted. And I built a torsion bar, which is basically the equivalent of a sway bar, except because the rear suspension, it's like the Honda Fit, has just a solid beam.
Yeah, it's a beam rear. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same with Kia. It's a beam, but the rate on it is so soft that if you go over like a dip or something, it just starts kind of like pogoing and like just moving with the hips. It's all in the hips kind of deal.
Right.
While driving at a higher speed. And so that tightens that up and keeps it more planted. And it helped a lot. And it helped rotate the car too, which was really nice. I made a little trunk brace that reinforces the top areas from as far as where the shocks land to just reduce a little bit of flexing. And I made a full exhaust. I made a mid-pipe section. I made an axle back section just for noise, because you can have a muffler as long as it doesn't affect emissions. If you do the mid-pipe, then you start running into emission issues because they have a secondary cat. It doesn't trigger the check engine light, but it's still an emissions device on some vehicles, and the Kia had it. What else did I make for that car? I think that's about it from what I can think on the top of. Stainless steel brake lines for better pedal feel. Crash bar, because I just wanted to reduce weight on it, so I just made one. So and every part that I was making more or less was helping me out in one form or another. I was like, okay, I'll just make this part and I'll just post it for sale.
Did you need like front top hats for your struts, or like did that come
so
with? Go ahead.
As far as the top hats, all I had, it's weird because all the top hat is held on by is just a singular bolt. And that's it. It's just basically two rubber pieces sandwiched together to the body, and then just a bolt in the center, and that's it. Which killed me to no end because it was hard. It still is hard for me to find top hats for that thing, so I can get better alignment changes. But I worked with was at the time Megan Racing. They made prototype coilovers for it, and I was like, yay! I finally have some dampening control. And then was moving on to top hats for it, but it was just getting harder and harder to find. And at the time, I wasn't as tech savvy as I am now, or have the machinery now, because now I can basically CNC machine my own top hat or put in the lathe and all this other fun and make it, now that I have the skills for it. Back then I was like just learning as I go. I knew how to fabricate then. I was learning since I was working for Pierce. I knew how to weld and do cage work and do braces. But as far as the machining in and everything involved, Fusion 360, I wasn't there until a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
after the Rio, where did you go?
So after the Rio, I moved to Washington, more or less. Okay. And that was around 2017. And then a house, and it wasn't it was a fixer-upper house. So my focus on that for first year was at least get it livable, put some flooring in it, and paint and all the other fun stuff. And then that motorsports took a little bit of a break. And then once the house was in an okay situation where work started taking off really hard as far as Evil Motorsports, and then I was working another job at the same time, because it was always like a side project, and it wasn't enough to fully pay for everything else. It was just more or less to pay for motorsports endeavors. And so I was always having another job. Then COVID hit, and it seemed like everyone went off this massive high of just working on their cars, and it just shot me through the moon as far as parts. Like I was working about 18 hours a day. It was wild for just about the whole year of COVID, between the job I had then, which was with CarMax, and then doing that on the side. It was insane. I was like, all right, I need to focus on one or the other, so I'll focus on Evil Motorsports. And that's roughly when it took off. And then during that time, it's funny because that's when I started getting into the Veloster N. I found one on auction, and I bought it, and it was rear-ended, and I put it back together in like a couple weeks, and then I'm like loving the car. And then before I can enjoy it, my buddy Josh from KTM Tuners, he's like, hey, I got in an accident and I need a car, and I like your Veloster N and I want to buy it. I'm like, all right, here you go. So he bought my first one, and then I bought a second one, and it was front end, and I learned really, really fast and how expensive parts can get as far as the front end on Hyundais. And through each car I was getting, I was just building parts off of it. Even the E46, I'm still building parts for spec E46 stuff when I got that. And then now, after Grid Life, I bought an Elantra N that I'm also putting back together. It's almost done now.
So are you one of those Copart boys?
I did Copart the first time, and I got lucky because I've heard stories and scary ones at that. And I had my issues with Copart as far as paperwork and stuff like that. So after I got that settled, I took a step back. I went with IAA, which their paperwork was a lot better, more cleaner. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's got that less shadiness to it. So I just stayed with them. So the first one I bought, the first one got Copart. The second one went IA, and then the one I just bought was IA as well, auction.
Okay. So you guys don't have like problems insuring rebuilt cars and stuff out there?
So in Washington, it's interesting because I have to get it inspected for me to get it registered in my name. So I have to take it to an office, and they have to verify all the VINs and all the parts are legit and with receipts and stuff like that. However, because I couldn't get a meeting with them because they're so booked ahead, I can just go to Oregon and get it done same day and pay like $35 on tabs for a title, and then just come back and get it re-registered again here if I wanted. So that was my loophole.
Okay. West Coast title washing. All right, got it.
At your service.
I'll leave that in for the hooligans out there on the West Coast that need a trick or two. Yeah,
it's legal. It's 100%. But the guy will get out of the office, walk with you, and be like, "Okay, VIN matches VIN. This looks legit. Here you go." And you just have to wait like 6 weeks until your title arrives. Your new title arrives.
All right. Well, that's interesting. We have to go visit the state troopers to get inspected, and then they sign off on it, and they're real particular about stuff. And anyway, it's not that easy for us, but I'm glad you guys can do it because cars have to be cheaper if you can do it that way. But
oh yeah, there's so many auction cars for sale here now, which I'm just cracking up about. I'm like, so I sold my car, the second Veloster N. I sold it at CarMax. I'm like seeing a few. I'm like, I wonder if that's mine. It's the one.
So I have a question for you. What do you know about the N program? And some people don't know, and I don't know whether it's transferable. So, do you know about it?
No, not that I know of it. Other than if you have a key, you can hang out with like the crew or stuff like that during their race events. That's all I know about it. But being that I have never bought an N new from the dealership because I refuse to pay markup for cars, and I hate having a car payment.
Yeah, true that. So my buddy Mario, he bought his new, I think, and I don't know the details, but anyway, you buy a Veloster N or any of the N lineup, and it's some amount of mileage, and your engine and transmission are covered no matter what happens. Where you did it doesn't matter. Like on track, blow it up, they'll send you a new one, or you tow it to the shop and they put it in and give you a loaner while they're messing with your N.
Toyota, you're listening?
They'd be broke.
Maybe that's how you do it. You'd have the audacity to give a NASA membership on your first.
Yeah, you get a NASA membership and a free pass. Like you get a free
track day.
Track day, right? And then don't grenade that brand new car of yours, though. And don't over rev it or any of the other things that they decided to say you were violating your stuff. Hyundai, apparently, the N program doesn't care. So
they have more faith in their engines. That's why, which is a comical joke. I'm serious. So the Elantra N that's doing the Time Attack series for Grid Life.
Yep.
Other than like basic maintenance, that car has been doing Time Attack events for 2 years straight. And Will is not easy on that car. He's driving that car to win. Like we're not babying that car at all.
Right.
Like that is a testament to that car. And then the Veloster N, I mean, when I had it, I was ripping on it, and Josh had it before he disassembled it and built it. And tuned it. He was ripping on it stock. It was great. It was absolutely great.
I just, yeah, I still, maybe I'm traumatized. I still have a hard time saying that the Hyundai is more reliable or has the more trustworthy engine. But I mean, recent history probably says that it's fine. That it's better.
Well, you're not wrong in a sense. I mean, Toyota had issues with the Tundra to the point that they had a recall with no fix, and then no dealership wanted to take any returns or basically buy a Tundra from customers until they found a recall. And with that said, I still love the Toyota product. Don't get me wrong. I love the Toyota. And the Supra doesn't count because it's German. It's 100% a German car. So that is out the window, sir.
I still think that Toyota emblems are made in Japan, but I don't think they outsource those.
Funny story. So a friend of mine, he's a crew chief on a major team, big money team, and he had the Supra GT4s at the beginning. And he took a picture of the VIN, right? And he's like, just look at the VIN. You know, if you look at the side of the panel of the VIN, you see the VIN number, right? And then you see the logo of the manufacturer, right?
Correct.
Guess what logo was on that GT4 Supra?
The Bavarian Motorworks one.
Exactly. And I just started rolling.
I mean, yes. And so they've had the GR86 issues where somebody got a little happy with their sealant. There's a couple of the GR Corollas I've heard had issues sort of similar. And the Tundra's
but it's because of the tire. The car caught fire because of the tire on the GR Yaris, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have the right tires. That's what it is. So that's what caused the downpipe to snap and catch, basically, or fuel to fail and catch the car on fire. It wasn't the engine. It was the tires. That's why the warranty got voided.
Okay. So, yeah, trust me, I drive an old 5.7 Toyota Tundra. I have no idea what it's going to replace it because I just don't know. I would have said another Toyota Tundra, but no, probably not. So, which is sad. But.
Not a newer one. The older ones are great. But apparently they require BMW level maintenance as well. I didn't
new
know
ones?
That. Yeah, the newer Toyotas.
Oof.
And when I mean newer, I mean like 2010 and newer kind of deal. Apparently they're they're great, but you have to maintain them like German level stuff. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, I guess. It's not like back in the day.
Well, yeah, but you got to figure we're putting a lot of stress on these cars these days. So just think about the tire technology.
Oh, absolutely. I have a book on it.
So that changes a lot of things. They had no idea the engineer had no idea. That's not true, but they probably didn't take into account that 200 treadwear tires are now going to be as good as Hoosiers were, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
So, and obviously the accountant gets involved and they pick at things. It's the testament of it all is that Hyundai is going to stand behind it and Toyota's making excuses.
Yeah.
Now,
hands down.
It could be a lot worse. Okay.
Oh, I agree.
Honda is like, oh, you don't have a brand new 2025 Type R? Well, we can't work with you. Like, get out of town. You know how many of those cars you sold. You know how many body in whites you sold. You're not trying to work with anybody, So, from someone who used to poo on Hyundais and Kias, and mind you, I mean, I'm not giving Kias a lot of props. My sister-in-law's, she had a Kia Soul, and she had a 2-liter. Anyway.
Yeah, the 1.8 and the 2-liter NAs, they're bad. So you're right. You're justified, sir. You were
Yeah.
justified.
It's terrible, like absolutely terrible, because I don't know, it's direct injection. The rings are, I don't know, ultra efficient rings that basically they just wear out and they lose compression, by 100,000 miles. And I'm like, oh,
It's exactly 100,000 miles that's where the warranty ends. So
yes.
you're
And
justified, sir.
yeah, I mean, I get it, but I mean, is the Optima really competitive?
So apparently it did really good as far as, you mean in price or in performance?
Performance.
So like the 2013 models, apparently the engine was extremely good, where these kids would boost this thing to like 400 horsepower and troll everyone else in a Kia Optima.
Okay. All right.
But the newer ones, give or take.
Okay. I just
go right ahead.
Their people race them. I mean, they were in series, right? Like they were still in TCA, I think.
Kinetic Motorsports had one.
Right.
But that thing was far from what an Optima is on the street, though. That thing was, I saw it firsthand. I'm like, yeah, that's not.
Okay.
It's like comparing a TCR car in a sense to like the stock version.
Right. Which we know is completely different. The TCR car.
Oh, absolutely.
TCR Type R is way different than a factory Type R.
Even the Hyundai Veloster TCR is completely different than the stock one.
Right. So I wanted to get into that a little bit with you, because I know you're helping out the KDM tuner guys. So like, how much stuff is custom made on these cars for GLGT, right? They went up to GT.
Yep. So there's GLTC, and then there's their new class, which is the GT class, which basically means any car that didn't fit into TC as far as rules gets bumped up to GT. So they're still working on it. I love the progress. I've seen some crazy cars out there. So everything in that Veloster, as far as parts, custom, you mean, or like readily available?
I mean, so you can't get toe links. We know that, right? If you break
Tractor Supply, baby.
Well, he might as well just grab a couple extra parts from Tractor Supply. But, are they changing control arms? Are they moving pickup points? Are they doing some of the stuff like the TCR cars are doing?
No. I would have to custom make it, or you would have to have someone to custom make those parts. I've seen a few. There do have some too. I think it was White Lines offered some support as far as better suspension components with better adjustability. But in terms of the car itself, very little support. It's still custom made stuff. A lot of the parts are also very like one-off in a sense. Like the bumper is like 50 different pieces, and some of the like suspension components are slightly different where it won't work on the regular Veloster of that same year.
Okay.
So we'd have to get them from the dealer or make something ourselves with it. So it's still a full custom deal, and it's a frustration for both me and Josh as well, because we break a part. We lucked out that a Tractor Supply part worked, but in reality, we would have been fish in a barrel kind of deal. We would have been done.
Yeah. So what's the list look like of parts that you want to make?
It depends on which car. So, for example, and then what parts are already available for it and what demand is there. So part of the reason is I'm a glutton for punishment in the sense where I can't get this part, but I can make the part. So I might as well make the part since I can't get the part. And that was basically the same mentality I had with the Kia Rio. I was like, all right, I need a part like this, and I can't. No one makes it, so I have to make it. And so I'll just make it and then offer it for sale, because hopefully somebody else will need the same part and that'll pay for my part. So that'll be great. Which led to this absurd level of fanaticism or autism. I have no idea. Where I ended up learning machining and other processes to basically make the parts that I need, because I got so tired of not being able to readily find the parts. So I'll just make my part.
Okay. I drive a Honda Civic, and I still can't find parts I need. So I have them made, right? Or I make them myself. But I feel like for you guys, it's on a whole new level, right? So, what do you have on the shelf, or, well, not on the shelf, designed, can be built for these Velocitors, for the new hotness coming out of Korea?
So right now it's moved into more of a safety issue. So I'm doing roll bars for the Elantra, and I haven't announced it yet, but I already have a prototype done. That's part of the reason why I have it. And then I already have a sway bar for it, which other manufacturers do. I'm planning on doing some more aero parts, just for better. Some areas I like and some areas need improvement. And then, for example, on the side, on the front bumper, there's like 2 slots that basically push the air to the side to the wheels, I guess, or either for brakes or stuff like that. And I just wanted to make some block off plates for like qualifying. That way I can just block as much as I can from that area. That way it just goes completely around it. Suspension components wise, there's things like collars that are made and machined, like that just go in the larger slots of the subframe to prevent any more like any slight fluctuations and stuff like that. Underbody bracing, I already have a strut bar for it. Possibly a front crash bar, so I can fit a bigger intercooler in it. Suspension wise, I want to jump in deeper into alignment changes stuff, but I'm kind of waiting to see what's out there already, because Whiteline does quite a bit of work, and there are other brands out there that are starting to get into it because of the popularity of the N-Line and how successful it is in motorsports. And I'm like, if they handle that research for me, I'll buy the part from them, and I can still focus on the stuff that no one else wants to make.
Yeah, I feel like if Whiteline makes it, it's okay, but it's not going to be like spherical or whatever, you know?
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
So you may have to take it up a level, even if.
Oh, absolutely. But if it's kind of like, I can't focus on one small part, and if they do it okay, I'll take that, because I can do everything else that no one's making. You get what I'm saying? As far in the scheme of things, the bigger picture.
Right. No, I get it. I just feel like I'd hate to have to settle for just a Whiteline part if it came down to it. Not to bag on them. It's just.
Oh, no, I agree with you. And you can pick any other brand you'd like. I just mentioned Whiteline.
Yeah, I mean,
they're in my catalog.
We're sort of like in motorsports, some of us are pretty picky about what goes on our car and the technology that goes into it, that goes onto our car. So it's like, yeah, a Darrell and bushing, not really down with that for whatever reason. Maybe I'm too bougie. Jaime would say that I'm just rich or something, but I just can't see myself settling for that. I would do it temporarily, right? Like if I bought it and I wanted to look at it off the car and then maybe design something to go in it, the bushings would still go in my spares or a backup, you know, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too bougie.
Well, let me ask you this. So you're not willing to settle on that one, justifiably so. But do you have everything else on the car settled how you want it?
Almost.
And that's the beautiful thing. See, you're able to find it. Meanwhile, on my behalf, I'm like, all right, I got this bushing settled, but I still got like 80% more of car to deal with. So if this bushing is okay for right now, let me handle the rest of the car and settle with this. Once I get to the car where I want it to be, or the parts that I have are there already, then I can track back and then start getting that extra 20% of the rest of the parts that I picked up aftermarket wise that I could have tweaked and done better.
So, I mean, my build's pretty easy, right? Like, we're only allowed big brakes, bolt-on coilovers, sway bars are, allowed. There's only like 2 companies that make sway bars. Well, ASR makes a a speedway bar setup, and then everybody else makes a derivative of the stock bar, a thicker one bent the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got K-Tuned makes a front spherical control arm, but there's almost nothing for the rear. So it's all rubber flop in the rear. And then I have 4 or 5 sets of top hats that I bought for this car because none of them gave me enough camber, right? And so, or caster or anything. Like they just held the top of the strut. So, but I worked for it. Like I worked to get my car there. I know it's harder for you, right? You can't go buy 4 or 5 different top hats. You're going to have to engineer one probably.
Or pretty much make one.
Get one that's close, pull the stock one off, and then stare at it and be like, how can I make this widget better, right?
Yeah, like I'll get one that's a little bit bigger, but at least I know it's like in the center hole, and then I'll just machine it and get it down and make it work.
Right.
As what I'll put it on a lathe and get it down where it's exactly where it needs to be, and like voila.
Right. Or you end up having a collar that goes on one if it comes too big, or you make a new centerpiece, whatever. I get it. But now's your time to shine, right? Like I think you're going to be able to really find some stuff,
I hope so. But the funny part about it is like, it's more or less now for one, putting my car back together and enjoying it in a sense. But for the Veloster, it's making, we won't know what we need to replace or what we need to add on until we see what breaks at this point.
Okay.
And like the goal is basically to have the car survive, and then adding certain parts when the car is doing not so okay. I was like, let's not add any more, probabilities here. First, let's handle what needs to be done. And then once it's handled, which it did great this weekend, now we can take more steps and start working on little things like aero, for example, which is major especially for that car with the front end like that. I love the front end, but it's not aero happy.
No, it really isn't. That's why you got to talk to Mario at Occam's Racers, so he can give you legit input from. I mean, he took his Veloster to the wind tunnel, so
I think Josh might have already gotten in contact with him.
Okay, I told Jaime when I heard them over there, I was like, you have to send them to this guy. So
I think if it was the case, it's funny because Josh was telling me about a conversation. I'm not sure if it was Mario or not. And he's like, yeah, dude, I got wind tunnel data for I didn't pay for it. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, on the Veloster? He's like, yeah. It was wild, dude.
It's got to be Mario. So
then if that's the case, he told the story better, but I'm going to do my best to paraphrase it or explain how he said. He's like, he got information regarding the wind tunnel, and they're like, and Mario, if it was Mario, was asking him questions. He's like, what kind of wing are you running? And he's like, well, running like this wing. He's like, where did you get it? And I was like, we got it off a Radical and then just made the bracketry for it.
Okay.
And he's like, well, that's interesting. I was like, well, the 70, it's like they run, I think it was a 70-inch wing for TCR. It's like, but ideally it should be an 80-inch wing. And Josh was like, that's what we have is an 80-inch wing. And he's like, how did you figure out to use an 80-inch wing? And he's like, well, we just had it and said, it looks cool and let's just throw it on. And Mario just starts cracking up. And he's like, okay, well, make sure you cut slots on the top of the window so you just reduce it. It helps with the airflow as far as the wing and gives it like, it neutralizes drag in a sense.
Uh-huh. And
Josh is like, well, it's funny you say that because we already have slots on the top of the window. And he's like, how did you figure out to put the slots in the top and the corners? So he's like, oh, when we were putting on the window, it just kind of warped that way. So we just left it. Yeah, Mario was cracking up. It's like, okay, I see you got front louvers. He's like, please, it's like, did you move them in the back like everyone else? He's like, no. I was like, we moved them in the front. He's like, interesting, because I was going to say you should move them in the front. But why did you do it? It's because it looked cooler. So Mario was cracking. I was like, dude, I spent so much money on wind tunnel research for you just to luck out and just add all these mods because it looked good, and you just had it in hand.
Yeah, I know Mario's not done. He's still hunting for a new Veloster to.
Yeah, he's looking for a 2022.
Yeah, I think so.
From what I heard, I'm looking for him too. Because
Okay.
Josh told me if you see one, let me know. I've seen 2020 and 2021's prices range between 15 to 18K.
Okay.
For whatever reason, they held their value extremely well, which is shocking.
Right?
Yeah,
knew?
yeah, that was who knew? Yeah, the N series for whatever reason it came out. But the funny part is, I guess because it became more of a collectible and just remain in value. But the Elantra Ns have depreciated fairly well, where you can get an Elantra N with a couple of miles in it for like 28K used with clean title, obviously.
Okay. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. And then I saw one with a rebuild title in my area for 20K.
I think I'd go for the clean title with $8,000 less work.
Yeah, exactly. I would. Absolutely. But I mean, the level of affordability for what it is, especially on the Elantra N, because the Veloster got discontinued. So the Elantra N is the new big boy for Hyundai. The price is exceptional for you. You're getting more or less 95% of what a Type R is capable of for what, 2/3 of the price?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's no way in hell any of us are going to be able to get a brand new 2025 Type R for, sticker, which is what, 42, 47 or something like that.
I think they're over that game, but still, it's still more expensive by a lot. So
yeah. And in Elantra N sticker price, I saw was like 37, which you can haggle down to like 35, 34. You can still haggle, which is in itself is already a feat.
Right. You're not doing that at a Honda dealer. They're like, it is what
Yeah,
it
there's
is.
no way. They'll laugh at you.
Oh, I tried. Don't worry.
My respects, sir.
Even with we bought a certified pre-owned Honda Fit, and I was trying to haggle with them, but must be the Turk in me. I don't know.
What you need is John to go with you.
Apparently.
91. Man, I've seen that man. Let me tell you, he's got his MBA in haggling. I'll tell you that.
Even at the dealership?
Oh, John won't care, dude. He'll haggle. He doesn't matter if it's a dealership or a charity.
He's out here lowballing the charity of choice.
It's okay, but I'll only give you $20 if you give me an extra pack of cookies. That's only a deal or no deal. Little Girl Scout's already traumatized at what
right.
John's told her.
She didn't make her quota.
And here comes John is like, you can make this quota right now if you just give me that extra box for this money. Like, think about it. I already hear the mom, Karen, screaming for security on John just for haggling.
Right. Well, I mean, they do harass you when you come out of Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yeah, that's why I like John. You just sick John on him. They'll handle it. That's John's new service is for haggling. I think he was trying. He was pitching it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'll hit him up tomorrow and be like, hey, I need to buy something. Will you negotiate on my behalf? See if he bites real hard on it.
That'd be a new side episode for him. Side hustle that he didn't know he could.
Right. Well,
but yeah, no, value wise, the car's exceptional. And I had the privilege to see the evolution of Hyundai as far as their transition to making a more performance car. Because on the first gen Veloster was the same. It was a bottom like twist beam suspension. And we made, parts on the Pierce brand, made parts, reinforcement plates and everything else. And it was interesting because as I saw the new Veloster N and the new generation N, I was seeing that they were a lot of the parts that we built for it, they were taking those into consideration and then just, modifying it and making changes here and there. And then it became super noticeable with the Elantra N because there were guzzeted pieces for basically the stamped steel under the lower A control arms. And normally there's like a piece that we offer or someone offers that reinforces that section, basically get a better rigidity. The Elantra N already had a guzset in there for reinforcement. As far as the front 2 point to reinforce the subframe, they move the points further into the subframe where there'll be little to no like basically flexing in it. They went that far ahead. I'm like, okay, well, they covered that part that we used to make for it. So it was interesting to see because everything that we made parts for, they took notes and said, yeah, we'll just add it on to the car and not worry about it. It was fun to see. They did a lot of aero work on it under the body as well. And it's funny because me and Josh and Pierce, we'd all talk about it. Because when we were racing, there was a little series that we started. It was called Veloster Challenge. And it was basically our version of like, what could I say? There was like not a spec series per se, but it was just kind of like a group of similar enthusiasts with the same car. And we did a little race series that we got sponsors to pull together to give free parts or coupons and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And apparently got Hyundai's attention to encourage the N line because there were weirdos out racing their cars, their Velosters, when they shouldn't be racing.
When they shouldn't be, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you really founded all of this stuff. You did.
I wouldn't say I found it. I wouldn't say I found it, but I think I was part of the group that we helped encourage it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a feat. Honda would never listen to what anything we had to say. So,
in Honda's defense, they tried really hard in B spec, and they also tried. There was going to be a rally series because I did a stage rally in California, and they were announcing there was a B spec rally series, and it had all the same cars that were just going to do rally suspension.
I had it bookmarked on my other computer for the HPD rally suspension to put on my daily driver with some BF Goodriches so I could drive to work in a rally spec car.
Oh, dude. The fact that HPD,
yeah,
right? Honda Performance Development, they had their own shock series for that car. That spec, that was awesome. I loved Honda for that.
Well, yeah, but their off-road spec was just a set of BC coilovers.
Aw, man, I thought it was inverted suspension, all that fun stuff.
No. It was a set of like long travel BCs, like a custom length BC. That's what it was. Don't give him that much credit.
To hear Yukon say that is awesome.
Oh, I love driving my Honda. I don't like Honda Corporation, how they've treated grassroots motorsports people, but that could be a whole nother podcast. I might have one. I'll see if one of them's crazy enough to get on the mic with me and talk. But
I'm looking forward to that one.
So, I mean, there's guys they work there right now. It's HRC. So HRC used to be motorcycles only, and HPD was the cars, and they merged under the HRC banner. So some of the guys that used to race Honda Challenge or still race Honda Challenge from time to time in the Honda employee race car program, basically, which if they had that kind of program, you would think they would still support the cars that they're racing, because they're racing 8th gens, 9th gens, an Insight with a K swap. I mean, they got all sorts of stuff, S2000s, that they would still make the HPD branded parts for them, but they don't. So only the new gets it. So they stopped supporting us small folks. But I know somebody that works at HRC, and but I don't think he's going to come on. So
I don't blame him. You're basically lining him up for the firing squad if he does.
I mean, I don't try to cut people off, especially if they got something to say. Like, get it out. What's your excuse? Let me hear it. So we'll see.
Right.
I don't have to agree with it even after you say it, but I'm gonna let you say it. Right. So
Right. No, that's part of the discussion.
So, all right, I have a couple heaters left, okay?
All right. Shoot.
All right. Say I'm a recent college graduate, since you know John and Tony and them, so they were on talking first track cars. What is a good KTM first track car?
What's your budget?
Let's say, I think we said under 20.
Under 20.
Yeah.
New or used?
Either.
Okay. KTM track car. Have a good time. Honestly, at that price, I'd go a Genesis Coupe. It's rear wheel drive. There is support. There's engine parts for it. More importantly, it's a manual. The manual is pretty good.
Okay.
And then most people are gonna naturally gravitate to rear wheel drive on track. I love front wheel drive, but it's just a fact.
Yeah, I get it. I'm still, Jaime's cringing right now, but whatever.
Why? He's front wheel drive supremacy.
Yeah. His race FF pod. Come on now. That's all he worries
I used to be 100% with Iman. Then I got a E46 and everything changed.
Okay. All right.
I got to try out what rear wheel drive feels like. I was like, oh, so this is.
Yeah. Well, I know, like Bill from Garage Heroes in Training, they're always like, oh, it's so much harder to drive a front wheel drive car. And I'm like, really?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but
I think the style of driving is what varies. Like rear wheel drive, you can modulate a throttle to basically, steer the car in the direction, rotate it. And then front wheel drive, as far as how I drive it, because I drive it, I guess a little aggressively, is I just do it. I look at it like roller skates, like roller skates, like you just kind of move one direction and just turns you that way, just shift, boom, boom, boom. And I'll just get the car to rotate where I want it and then just keep it planted. So it's just throwing the car and then shoot, point and shoot. And it's scary for some, but I feel like that's how you're supposed to drive a front wheel drive car on track to get it to the fastest point. It's just basically throwing the car and then pointing it where you want it to go and then just being on the gas the whole time.
Mash the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll pull you out or it won't.
Or it won't. I mean, if you put in too much yaw and you don't have enough horsepower, it will not pull you out. But generally speaking, it'll pull you out. So
I mean, that's how I did it with the Rio. I would just point and shoot with it. The more stiffer the rear, or I'd bump pressures in the back just to get it to do what I wanted to do and roller skate through the truck, more or less.
I want to.
Granted, I mean, you can scrub speed on a low horsepower car real fast, where it turns really safe, faster than if it was like a 400 horsepower front wheel drive car. You know what I mean?
So the Genesis Coupe was made up until 2016.
Ooh, still good. I thought it was later.
You thought it
Still
like
really.
to 2020?
I thought earlier. I thought it was like 2012, 2014.
I
That's
mean,
what I thought.
I'm trusting Google AI right now. I'm not.
Oh, go. They're accurate. I mean, you can get a tune. Apparently, you can get Chat GPT to get you a decent tune now, based on the Instagram reels.
Oh no. Okay, a 2016 write-off Carvana, which is expensive, is 24. So I'm sure you could find even the last year
easily.
Of it. Yeah.
I remember when I was at CarMax, I got a 2013 Hyundai Genesis, I think it had 40,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't pass inspection because it had hail damage, which just had like slight dents on it. And I didn't care. I was like, but it was like $8,500 at auction.
Okay. That's not
bad. And then I got it. Yep. I almost kept it too in a manual. I was looking at the registration and I found a dyno sheet. And as soon as I saw the dyno sheet, I'm like, oh, hell no. Now I know why this car is not running right. I just turned it back in and I was like, no, I got my 7 days. Here you go. You can keep the car. I don't want this.
Oh, wow. Oh, what was the number on that dyno sheet is the more important question.
It was like, it's been a while. I think it had like a 20 or 30 horsepower increase. And it was on the 2-liter boosted engine. And the funny part was when I looked at the turbocharger, because it's easily accessible, I noticed one of the heat shields was missing. And the specific heat shield was covering basically the wastegate. And then I looked at the threads, and some threads look really fresh, like someone just unscrewed this.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm just like, you know what? Sounds like a can of worms. So like, I'll take it back. But I mean, as far as Facebook Marketplace, I've seen them right now from 2 to 4. I've seen a few at 6.
Okay.
Which is not bad. It's comparable right now to the Toyota FRS, which I've seen I've seen a few for around 5 to 6.
That's
the
fair.
older ones, not the new ones.
Yeah, the first gens, not the GR86 style, but
back when it was like Scion was there, more or less.
I drive a Scion. That's the only Scion I would drive, but I would drive it. But,
oh, you don't want you don't like the toaster box?
No.
Apparently, they're super reliable. It's just a Toyota Fit. That's all it is.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life either. I'm kind of mad at my Honda Fit. I won't lie, so it's okay. But every year I blow up a AC compressor in it, so it's getting kind of pricey to own and not sweat in. So, all right, let's wrap up and let's do the segment 2025 wrap up segment. And what is your favorite racer excuse that you've ever used or you've heard?
I was going to say tires, but I think everyone else in the podcast has said tires the whole time. Or it's too hot is the other one.
Okay. I mean, you guys just were at Mid-Ohio, so.
Oh, Mid-Ohio is just humid. The heat wasn't the problem. The humidity was the issue, which is interesting because how the cars perform, I thought they weren't going to break any more records, that people weren't going to get any faster.
Mm-hmm.
But despite the fact that the day was getting hotter, people were still breaking records. So I don't know if that had to do something with the humidity. Like maybe on us, as far as like, it feels terrible, but the cars is like, this is better just because it's more dense and moisture. That I'm okay with. I don't know how it's affecting the track or the tires themselves to maintain the grip they need, or the engine's just liking that extra humidity for horsepower reasons. But it was odd. It could be the aero too, because I mean it works similar to an airplane. Like an airplane, you don't want to fly, like if you're flying a little Cessna single engine, you do not want to fly in hot days because the plane won't lift.
The thinner air.
Yeah. So, but you do want it when it's dense, and when you have like fog and stuff like that, it'll start cutting through. You'll get the lift unit. So I don't know if that has to do with the moisture involved, like in sense of it promoting better aero, better engine stuff. It's really interesting. But I don't have a degree enough for that.
No, me either. I didn't even sleep at a whatever hotel it was last night to get that degree. So. All right, Eli, where can they find you, and where can they pick up Veloster and Kia parts? Well, Honda and Kia parts.
Sure. You'd find me as far as Kia and Hyundai parts, evillamotorsports.com. You can find me at Instagram or Facebook. Eli Villa Racing is my Instagram, and then same Eli Villa. You'll see me. I'm the one that has basically my profile picture with half a suit and half a racing suit in it. So that'd be me.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad I could complete your trifecta. I guess we're going to have to get you on some better podcasts now because you've been slumming it with us. But
sir, there's no such better. I don't know who told you this information, but there's no better quality podcasts out there than these podcasts. It is the bestest of the podcasts, top rated.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've been told I was
Hey,
second before, but not the best. So,
You know what? Second, that just means you're getting better. That's all that means.
well, I mean,
First, I wouldn't worry about it.
they were like, your podcast is the second best next to It's Not the Car with Ross Bentley and Jeff Braun and Sam. And I'm like, okay. I mean, they have 10 times the listeners probably, but I'll take that. So
It's the voice. It's just a seductive voice. That's all. We just gotta work on your seductive voice, and then you'll nail it. You'll easily take first place.
oh yeah, I need to go talk to some operators and see how they get it done.
It's some like Spanish telenovelas, you know?
Right?
Like they have the voice right there. Yeah, it's just very commanding, very passionate. That's all you need.
Yep. I'll work on that.
Start as, hello, this is the Blind Apex podcast. And then boom, straight to the top, baby.
I'm totally clipping that and going to start using it.
I'll take it. I'll take the honor.
Thanks again, Eli.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.